introduction or whatever? Are
Yeah.
you gonna start out with, what are we looking for like PLU? What are we looking for
I'm gonna look at
Central?
Central first since we're the home team.
All right, gotcha.
Then we'll go PLU. Talk about that.
And then you'll go on to what player should we watch out for, or should I include that in what are we looking for?
We could do. We can have that as our own separate
Alright,
piece.
cool.
We got 15 minutes to kill.
Alright, yep.
Playing all the music that you want.
Yeah. So. Yeah. There's that. 15 minutes to go before then.
Where your music central.
I can now look at faces to numbers.
Yeah.
Take off your warm-ups, come on.
88 won the bird.
I thought Pope didn't play for us anymore.
No, Pope does.
Oh, gotcha.
Let's see, 4 o'clock. We're looking forward to getting a chance to play in our gym again. PLU has proven themselves one of the best teams in the Northwest Conference. Solid defensively, they're capable of putting up a lot of points on the offensive end. That is true. Three players have scored more than 10 points. Brandon Rydell off the bench, 20 points. Sean McCurdy, another bench player, yes, with 17.
Brett Williams.
Williams as well on the season. McCurdy is second in scoring, so off the bench McCurdy will be key.
Yep. Averaging 12.6.
Where your music central.
88 won the bird.
How fitting.
Ooh, I like that dice. got fouled.
Who?
That dude who's running clapping hands. I think he's the shortest one. I'll say that Shaden Knight probably.
Oh. Maybe. Seven minutes on the clock. We're gonna go live at 45.
Awesome.
We won't even need the IV the second iPad. There we go. Okay, I don't want to play that many ads. Okay, so we'll try and yeah, we'll see how we go. But if everything goes as planned, I don't really want to play that many ads.
Alright, sounds good.
Let's go once. Yeah.
Your Music Central. On air and anywhere. Let's connect.
Download the app and listen live anywhere in the world. I love hit music. Just search 881 The Berg on your app store.
Oh. So we got stats on the left side. If you got points, fouls, or player number, fouls and points, that might be key later on. And then if you want to see who quickly was the foul against, that side's gonna be good for you.
Alright.
We are going live. We're about to go live.
Alright, cool.
live after this song.
Alright, yep.
I love new music.
This is Bruno Mars. Me and Anderson .Paak are back with another one. Check out the new Silk Sonic single, Skate.
Playing all the music that you want to hear.
88.1 The Bird, your music central.
Ready?
Yes, sir. Let's do this. Go.
The Wildcat Sports Radio Network proudly presents Central Washington Men's Basketball. Brought to you by Central Park Apartments, Mark Shimoleski Law Attorney, The Barber Shop, Central Transit, Northwest Luxury Spa, and Yakima Federal Saving and Loans. Now, let's head to the booth as our play-by-play announcer, Danny DeBuck, calls the game.
Good evening and welcome in to Nicholson Pavilion in Ellensburg, Washington, where tonight Central Washington men's basketball is finally back in action here in the PAV with fans in the stands, as tonight will be a rematch that was in the making since 1996 as the visiting Pacific Lutheran Lutes take on your Central Washington Wildcats. Hello again, everyone. Danny DeBlock alongside my good friend Daniel Caldera. And as we look at this matchup here tonight, Daniel, a matchup between two teams that are they're coming in on different directions. Pacific Lutheran, they've won their last 3 games in a row, whereas looking at Central Washington, they split their 2 games within the conference against some interesting opponents in Seattle Pacific, winning that game against a team that was expected to be the team that was going to be the front runner in the GNAC. And then the other side of the coin, losing to a Montana State Billings team that was a little bit of a challenge for Central Washington, losing a heartbreaker at the end. So looking at this matchup, specifically at Central Washington here, my friend, this will be quite the test for these Wildcats here tonight. As taking a look at what we see here, Daniel, as we look at some of the key stars here for Central Washington, one of the leading scorers here for this team has got to be one of the answers for Central Washington, and Xavier Smith.
Yeah, Xavier Smith, definitely a leading scorer for Central Washington, averaging 15.2 points per game, 47% from the field, reliable driver, mid-range. Only 25% from three so far this year, but you know he can get it going beyond the arc anytime he wants. 80% from the line, reliable free throw shooter. And then also looking at other scorers, you see Marcus Gilson on the come up, 14.7 points per game. Only half a point behind being the leading scorer on the team. Big man on the block, gets the post moves, cleans up the offensive rebounds when he gets them. Just a reliable scorer. And also, off the bench, we got Michael Pollard, only averaging 9 points per game this season, but last year he went off for 20, 25 points for a season. You never know what you're going to get from him night in, night out. He's someone to watch for off the bench.
Yeah, take a look at this Central Washington Wildcats team. This is a team that last year, obviously, the COVID-stricken season made the season a little bit abbreviated. So definitely going to be a new test this year, especially for the Central Washington Wildcats in what is their first full season here in the GNEC, and that also includes some non-conference games, especially considering this one against Pacific Lutheran University. So it will be an impressive test to see what this Wildcats team will present. Taking a look at what they did in the conference, specifically in their matchups against Seattle Pacific. SPU, a team that was projected to finish first place, and it was a solid road win for Central Washington, capitalizing on SPU not having the best of shooting nights.
Yeah, definitely. Central Washington definitely picked and chose their shots really well during that game. They only shot 4 3-pointers in that entire game. So that just shows Central's patience, waiting to get a good look, finding cutters, not rushing the shot clock, really just dialing in, focusing, looking for the open man, and not rushing on the shot clock. Only 4 3-pointers per game on that. I mean, only 4 3-pointers during that game. But on the game versus Montana State Billings, they actually shot better from three than they did during the field overall, at 37.5%. And they lost that game. So that kind of just shows how in that game they were sort of rushing a little more, not being as patient on the shot clock. So the key is to find good shots, not rush anything.
And to be patient. And then on the other side of the coin, looking at Pacific Lutheran. This is a team that tends to be one of the better teams here in the Northwest Conference, as they have had years where they were having losing seasons, and the year before the pandemic hit, it was PLU that was playing stellarly well, with only losing a few games within the conference. And looking at PLU, it's your first year after having that impressive year in the 2019-2020 season. So looking at this matchup for PLU, going up against a Central Washington team, that should be an interesting test for them especially.
Definitely. If you look at PLU, they've got two amazing rebounding guards, Jordan Thomas and Seth Hall, averaging 7.3 rebounds and 5 rebounds per game, respectively. Jordan Thomas, especially on the offensive glass, he's had a couple games where he's cleaned up 5 offensive rebounds, 8 offensive rebounds. Just shows his effort, shows what he wants to do on the glass, get it done. One thing that they are a little weak on is their three-point shooting. In the past 2 games, they've shot 28% and 32% from 3. However, we are sure that that's not going to stick around. They can also turn it around anytime they want. It'll just be fun to look at.
And one of the advantages that PLU does have over Central Washington is their depth, as they have a ton of players compared to Central Washington, and it shows in just by looking at how complete their lineup is, with their team head manned by Chad Murray.
Yeah, definitely. Sean McCurdy, especially, one of their best leading scorers off the bench, actually leading second in team in points per game at 12.6, only behind the starter Seth Hall at 20.5. That just shows the bench's electrifying presence whenever they step on the court. You know Sean McCurdy and the bench crew is going to get it done.
I'm really excited to see how PLU's defense does against Central Washington. That is the one matchup that I am the most intrigued over, because this is something that this will be a defense that PLU hasn't. That will have a test to see going up against this Central Washington team. So I'm impressed over that. So knowing this, there's a lot of storylines that are going into this game for Central Washington. Looking at how this is not a conference game. There is not a tremendous amount of conference playoff hopes that are impacted by this game. But it's still a great test for Central Washington in order to see how they stack up against Pacific Lutheran.
Definitely. If you look at Central Washington, even these games which don't count towards the conference, getting these games to see where they stand against other teams, give them some motivation if they win. If they lose, give them something to work with. Just a great confidence booster to take down a team like this if they do. Puts them to the test on the offensive end, like you said. On the defensive end, this is going to be a little bit of a challenge for Central. So again, waiting to see can they make a good pass, not rushing anything, being patient, and not letting PLU capitalize on the defensive end too much.
So that will be some of the keys here tonight in this matchup between the Pacific Lutheran Lutes and your Central Washington Wildcats, as this is an interstate matchup between these two teams, as it is Central Washington out of Ellensburg here, then looking at Pacific Lutheran coming out of Pierce County from Tacoma, Washington. So definitely a place that I know is very close to home, as I'm from that area. So a little bit of a soft spot in my heart for Pacific Lutheran. And then on the other side, Central Washington here. Another strong season so far in the makings. They beat Seattle Pacific in an upset, you might even say, over in Seattle, which is a tough place to play, and then losing in Montana State Billings, a tough place apparently for the Wildcats to play nowadays. So, as the Wildcats are now being introduced onto the floor, as we already know who the starting lineups are going to be, and we're going to announce them off in just a little bit. But before then, we will take a quick break and let our stations identify themselves and let our sponsors do their part. And with that, we will take a quick break right here on the Wildcat Sports Radio Network.
Please join 88 Wunderberg in thanking our proud sponsor, Central Park Apartments. Located at the end of East Helena Avenue, Central Park Apartments offer 1 to 4 bedroom apartment homes with amenities including a swimming pool, fitness center, and multi-purpose court. All rooms are open concept with storage space, heating, and air conditioning, as well as in-unit washer and dryers. Tours can be scheduled through their website, and more information about pricing and availability can be found by calling 509-925-1247. Attorneys can help with many things: traffic citations, criminal accusations, and arrests. 88 Wunderberg would like to thank its proud sponsor, attorney Mark Shimoleski. Mark's office is located on Pine Street in downtown Ellensburg, walking distance from the CWU campus and the courthouse. With over 30 years' experience as a state deputy prosecuting attorney, municipal court judge, city prosecuting attorney, judge pro tem, and defense attorney, Mark can be reached at mac1law.com or by calling 933-1LAW.
88 Wunderberg would like to thank our proud sponsor, The Barber Shop. Open Tuesday through Saturday, The Barber Shop specializes in men's haircuts, classic fades, tapers, and beard trimming. Walk-ins are welcome, and appointments can be booked through their app. The Barber Shop is located at 1011 North Alder Street behind Weinigers in the same building as Linder Chiropractic. More information about haircuts and pricing can be found by searching The Barber Shop on Facebook.
88 Wunderberg would like to thank our proud sponsor, Central Transit. Operating 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., Central Transit is Ellensburg's public transit service. Stops include Fred Meyer, Safeway, The Verge, and Brooklyn Village. All buses have bike racks and are ADA accessible. For bus routes, stops, and pickup times, the Transit app is available for download. More information can be found on their website at centraltransit.org.
88 Wunderberg would like to thank our proud sponsor, Northwest Luxury Spas.
Now open in Ellensburg off Main Street next to Ellensburg Power Sports, they offer supplies, scheduled services, and digital water testing. Northwest Luxury Spas is also a licensed Clearwater spa dealer.
More information on spas, services, and supplies can be found on their website at nwluxuryspas.com or by calling 509-925-1142.
88 Wunderberg would like to thank our proud sponsor, Yakima Federal Savings and Loan. With 10 locations in central Washington, including Ellensburg, Yakima, and the Tri-Cities, Yakima Federal offers a variety of services, including free, clear choice student checking accounts, savings accounts, home loans, and more. More information can be found on their website at yakimafed.com or by calling 509-925-5338. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Please join 88 Wunderberg in thanking our proud sponsor, Central Park Apartments. Located at the end of East Helena Avenue, Central Park Apartments offer 1 to 4 bedroom apartment homes with amenities including a swimming pool, fitness center, and multi-purpose court. All rooms are open concept with storage space, heating, and air conditioning, as well as in-unit washer and dryers. Tours can be scheduled through their website, and more information about pricing and availability can be found by calling 509-925-1247.
Attorneys can help with many things: traffic citations, criminal accusations, and arrests. 88 Wunderberg would like to thank its proud sponsor, attorney Mark Shimoleski. Mark's office is located on Pine Street in downtown Ellensburg, walking distance from the CWU campus and the courthouse. With over 30 years' experience as a state deputy prosecuting attorney, municipal court judge, city prosecuting attorney, judge pro tem, and defense attorney, Mark can be reached at mac1law.com or by calling 933-1LAW.
88 Wunderberg would like to thank our proud sponsor, The Barber Shop. Open Tuesday through Saturday, The Barber Shop specializes in men's haircuts, classic fades, tapers, and beard trimming. Walk-ins are welcome, and appointments can be booked through their app. The Barber Shop is located at 1011 North Alder Street behind Weinigers in the same building as Linder Chiropractic. More information about haircuts and pricing can be found by searching The Barber Shop on Facebook.
88 Wunderberg would like to thank our proud sponsor, Central Transit. Operating 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., Central Transit is Ellensburg's public transit service. Stops include Fred Meyer, Safeway, The Verge, and Brooklyn Village. All buses have bike racks and are ADA accessible. For bus routes, stops, and pickup times, the Transit app is available for download. More information can be found on their website at centraltransit.org.
88 Wunderberg would like to thank our proud sponsor, Northwest Luxury Spas.
Now open in Ellensburg off Main Street next to Ellensburg Power Sports, they offer supplies, scheduled services, and digital water testing. Northwest Luxury Spas is also a licensed Clearwater spa dealer.
More information on spas, services, and supplies can be found on their website at nwluxuryspas.com or by calling 509-925-1142.
You're listening to the Wildcat Sports Radio Network on KCWU Ellensburg.
The Wildcat Sports Radio Network proudly presents Central Washington Men's Basketball. Brought to you by Central Park Apartments, Mark Shimoleski Law Attorney, The Barber Shop, Central Transit, Northwest Luxury Spa, and Yakima Federal Saving and Loans. Now, let's head to the booth as our play-by-play announcer, Danny DeBach, calls the game.
Back inside Nicholson Pavilion in Ellensburg, Washington, as we are just about set and ready to go in this interconference matchup between the Pacific Lutheran Lutes and the Central Washington Wildcats. And Daniel, taking a look at the starting lineup for Central Washington. At the guard, we're going to see David Thompson leading the way for Central Washington.
Yep, great shooter, their best shooter actually, shooting 46% from three. Going to be fun to watch him tonight.
It's going to be a showcase there. And then also Xavier Smith, another guard for Central Washington, leading the team in points.
Exactly, yep, leading the team, the go-to scorer. I mean, 3 levels, driving, mid-range 3, he's got it.
And also Colby Jeanette also leading the way. And then for the forwards, we're going to have Matt Poquette and Marcus Gilson set for the starting lineup for Central Washington as we are just about set to get underway here. And for the first time in a long time, men's basketball is set to get underway from the path. And to begin the game, it will be Marcus Gilson in for the opening tip with Jordan Thomas. Thomas leading the way with 8 points for PLU as we are just about set to get this thing started. Let's have some fun here, Daniel.
Yes, sir.
And away we go. Thomas and Gilson for the opening tip, and we are underway here in Central Washington University. Bringing the ball up the floor for Central Washington will be taken on the far side by Thompson. Now this is Poquette. Matt Poquette, a jumper off the backside of the rim, rebounded by Marcus Gilson of the Wildcats, and he lays one in, and Central Washington takes the early 2-0 lead.
That's what you like to see from Gilson on the offensive glass, getting after the ball and laying it up and in.
And an early start for Central Washington. Marcus Gilson, the opening points of the game, as we have a stoppage in play here, as it'll be Pacific Lutheran ball underneath the basket, as the Pacific Lutheran Lutes will be going from a left to right across your radio dial, and also streaming live on the Central Washington Athletics page. Here comes Pacific Lutheran as they head up the wing, as on the far side it'll be played on the far side by Nolan. Sam Nolan at the point. Nolan hangs on, hands off for Seth Hall, the leading scorer. To the inside for the play by Brett Williams. Williams dumps it underneath for the high post, cutting in, turning, shooting one off the front end of the rim was Jordan Thomas, as that one goes in and out. Back the other way comes Central Washington. This is Xavier Smith, guarded on the far side, floated over for the far side play by Poquette. Poquette hangs on, sends a pass, it's broken up on the play, but kept in by Smith. Xavier Smith for Colby Jeanette of those Central Washington Wildcats for the play by Thompson. David Thompson, a shot, a jumper, that one gathered in on the rebound by PLU and Brett Williams. And back the other way in transition very quickly, it's Williams. Brett Williams for Pacific Lutheran. He drops it off for Jordan Thomas. Thomas, far side for the play by Seth Hall. Guarded on the play by Thompson. Near side for the play by Brett Williams into the corner for Sam Nolan. Nolan stops up, heads to the point, hands off for Tyler Ashmore. For the play to be made by Jordan Thomas. Thomas from the mountain range, working on Poquette, puts one up. That shot was errant and no good. And we're going to have a foul called in the play by Jordan Thomas of Pacific Lutheran.
That was an amazing defensive set by Central right there. All coming down to Poquette, standing tall in the center, not giving any inch for the shot.
And it will be Poquette who will inbound for Central Washington. As in this game here, Daniel, we are seeing that it seems as if PLU might be showing a little bit of jitters early along.
Yeah, for sure. They're looking a little slow on offense.
Contested jumper from Smith is no good, and it'll be brought back by Pacific Lutheran. Over to the far side for the play into the corner. Tyler Ashmore, a three. And that one, an unfriendly bounce, and it'll be Central Washington who will head the other direction.
That right there is settling for a shot. That was a contested jumper in the corner.
Jostle for the ball over the far side. Gathered in by the Wildcats. Driving in and scoring is Thompson.
Man, what a move by Thompson. Slithering between both big men and just laying it up and in.
Central Washington up 4-0 early here in the first half. Danny DeBacca alongside Daniel Caldera from Nicholson Pavilion, Ellensburg, Washington. On the near side is Jordan Thomas. Thomas to the inside for Sam Nolan. Nolan working on Thompson. Puts one up. No good. Rebound. Another chance. Gathered in by Central Washington as they head the other way.
That was an amazing move by Nolan, but just couldn't get the open layup. Back to a little of the jitters you were talking about.
Xavier Smith puts one up. That one was errant, and it'll be taken back the other way by Pacific Lutheran. They head the other direction in Tyler Ashmore. Ashmore guarded by Poquette over to the near side for the play by Brett Williams. Williams drives in and scores.
Nice take by Williams right there.
And here comes Central Washington back the other way quickly. Here comes Matt Poquette to the high post. He gets partially blocked on the play. And that'll be a shooting foul, and that will send Matt Poquette to the line.
Yeah, Poquette, awesome center. He can put it on the ground. That's one of his strengths as a big. He might not get as many rebounds as your typical center, only at 5.3, but being able to bring it up the court, dribble, he's able to handle the ball for you.
And Matt Poquette, a really good free throw shooter, 79% on the year for Central Washington.
Yep, that's ahead of the team's average at 74%, which is already third in the conference.
Well, so much for the announcer's jinx here, Daniel, as he misses the first one. And now he'll have a second chance, an opportunity for a reprieve.
Yep, here's going to make it, I bet. 79%.
Well, we'll see if the announcer's jinx
there we go.
Doesn't work there, as it is the make by Matt Poquette, and it's Central Washington out to a 5-2 lead. Up the floor comes Brett Williams of the Pacific Lutheran Lutes. Hands off for Jordan Thomas for the play to be made again by Brett Williams. Williams far side for Seth Hall, the leading scorer to the inside. Here's Hall again. Oh. That's blocked by Colby Jeanette, and it's Hall who drives in, puts one up, and scores. After the block, it is Seth Hall who didn't let that fool him. He drives in and scores the basket. It's a 1-point game.
That's what they talk about following your shot.
Thompson for Gilson on the high post. Gilson trying to spin. He's double teamed. kept in by Colby Janelle on the near sideline. Now Thompson driving in, into the paint, puts one up, a hook shot is good.
That was an amazing hook by Thompson. Got over the taller defender right there.
Here comes Jordan Thomas. Thomas with it on the near side wing. Driving in on Marcus Gilson to the high post, puts one up and scores. What a play.
If you're Gilson, you got to live with that. That's some amazing defense, and that was just a little bit better offense.
And it's a tight game going on in the early going. Central Washington, a 7-6 lead over Pacific Lutheran. A lob in for Poquette inside in the paint, puts one up, and he lays it in. 9-6 lead for Central Washington.
That's an amazing lob pass right there. Let him a little to the rim, and all he had to do was go up and put it in.
Here for Pacific Lutheran is Sam Nolan on the far side for the play made by Brett Williams. Williams guarded by Jeanette. And a hook pass that finds Seth Hall. Hall drives in the paint. Kicked out far side in the corner. Three from Brett Williams. Off the front edge of the rim. Kept alive by Central Washington. And back the other way comes Xavier Smith. And he is fouled on the play by Seth Hall.
Yep, that's a smart foul right there. Got to stop the fast break.
And with that, we have a timeout on the floor with the score. Central Washington 9 and Pacific Lutheran 6. So knowing the early going of this game, it seems as if Central Washington, they're the home team. They're showing that they are the home team by playing in stride. Pacific Lutheran slowly catching up here.
Yep, they definitely have some very good defensive sets going on, not letting any open shots go in. The shots that have gone in, they've been all contested. Just a great poise on defense by Central.
And speaking of plays, great work by Pacific Lutheran to work their way back into this game. They were down early, and all of a sudden, Central Washington is right back. Well, now they're right back within reach of the Wildcats from Central Washington.
Yep, I think that all started with the Seth Hall. He got blocked, but immediately followed the shot on the offensive board and put it back in. Those offensive rebounds really are a great energizing factor for any team trying to go back in.
And that can always be a huge boost, especially down low in the paint. And looking at this game, I would even say, Daniel, that it's going to be the paint where this game can be won and lost.
For sure, yeah. Both teams aren't too great of three-point shooters. Like I said earlier, Pacific Lutheran University, they shot 28% from three 2 games ago, and then their last game they shot only 32%. It'll be a paint battle right here.
We'll see what that shows, especially later on in this game, as it will be Central Washington with possession, as into the game comes Amari Stafford in for Colby Jeanette, and also it will be Micah Pollard in the game for Central Washington. Up the floor comes David Thompson for the Wildcats from Central Washington. A lob in for Matt Poquette, driving kick down the near side. That's going to be a charge that's going to be called on Poquette.
Oh, yeah. Even though he got the charge, that's a nice heads-up play. He saw him on the corner, skipped it over. Just got to be a little more controlled next time.
Maybe a little bit more control on the pass towards Xavier Smith. As inbounding for Pacific Lutheran will be Jordan Thomas for the Lutes out of Pacific Lutheran, based out of Tacoma, Washington. Up the floor comes Seth Hall to the near side for the play by Jordan Thomas. Thomas guarded by Amari Stafford. Thomas hangs on with time, far side for Hall, guarded by Smith on the far side wing. Here is Hall, hands off again for Jordan Thomas. Thomas driving into the high post, puts one up and scores, and it's a 1-point game now.
Ooh, little mistake by Stafford there, letting him go to the right with an open lane, but you got to live with that.
Here is Thompson. Thompson drives in high post, puts a shot away and scores.
What a shot by, what a shot. That, he's usually from 3, but right now he's focusing on going in towards the lane.
Great play by Thompson. 11-8 is the score. The Wildcats from Central Washington out in front of Pacific Lutheran. On the far side, driving in is Sean McCurdy. McCurdy puts one up and scores. What a play from McCurdy off the bench.
That's a nice little hook shot from McCurdy. Got him with a little jab and then just turned around and hooked it back in.
Stafford near side for Micah Pollard. Lobbed in for Matt Poquette. Working on the inside on McCurdy. And a turnover. Back the other way comes Pacific Lutheran University. Nolan for Thomas. Jordan Thomas driving in and scores, and he gives Pacific Lutheran their first lead of the game.
That's a nice little move by Thomas right there. Going baseline, going up and under, avoiding the defense, and just putting it up and in.
12 to 11 is the score. Pacific Lutheran out in front early, 12 to 11, as it is PLU that is really starting to settle in this game. And taking a look at the scoring here, Daniel, for Pacific Lutheran side of the equation, very evenly distributed so far in this game.
Yeah, for sure. They don't really have any one person doing all the work. We got Seth Hall with 2, Williams with 2, Ashford with 6, and Thomas with 2. No one's doing all the work, and that's great to see coming in, sharing the ball, and just pacing everybody out.
Yeah, like you said, very evenly distributed scoring. And then taking a look at the other side of the equation for Central Washington. And the leading scorer is David Thompson for Central Washington. And so far, no three-pointers in this game for the Wildcats from Central Washington. Here's back into play. Here's Thompson at the point. He lost control of the ball initially, regains control, turns and puts up a floater. And a loose ball, scramble for it. Still jostling for the ball. Gathered in by Seth Hall, Pacific Lutheran, as they head up the wing. Here's Jordan Thomas. Thomas sends it to the far side for McCurdy. McCurdy puts one up. That one was a tough shot that he couldn't escort. And back the other way comes Central Washington in the corner. Thompson a 3. No good off the rim, but Gilson picks up the change and scores. It's a 13-12 game.
That's what you love to see from Gilson right there, getting the offensive glass. Got one earlier and got one there again.
Hometown Central Washington reclaims their lead. As on the far side, this is Nolan. Sam Nolan hangs on for Pacific Lutheran. Drives in towards the mountain range, stops up, drops it for Jordan Thomas on the outside of the perimeter, drives to the inside to the high post, and gets the friendly roll. Pacific Lutheran reclaims the lead.
That's a nifty little move right there. Got him with the crossover. He's got a little open space.
14-13 is the score. Here's Micah Pollard on the near side wing for Marcus Gilson. Gilson on the inside. Floats it to the outside for Amari Stafford. A deep range 3. That one off the rim and out. And back the other way comes Sam Nolan. Nolan drives in around Stafford. Partially blocked in the play. That is going to be a shooting foul, it seems. And it'll be Pacific Lutheran who will head to the line in the form of Sam Nolan.
That was a nice little pump fake by Nolan. Got Gilson in the air and went up on his way down. And even...
So it will be Nolan at the line, 56% free throw shooter, as he converts the first one to extend the PLU lead to 15-13.
That's a nice free throw right there. Like I was saying a little bit earlier ago, Gilson, it's amazing to see him on the offensive glass. Got 2 early in the game, and that equals 4 points.
Here's Nolan again for this free throw. That one, the unfriendly roll, yields Central Washington a 2-point deficit. Matt Poquette's back into the game for Central Washington as he has the ball the near side wing. Cycled up to the point for Xavier Smith. Smith drives in, puts one up, blocked on the play by Thomas, but a foul will send Smith to the line.
That's an amazing quick first step that Xavier Smith has. Didn't even have to do any extra moves, no jab steps, just got the ball on the ground quicker than the defender could react.
Here's Smith at the line for Central Washington, as it's Xavier Smith on the season. 80% free throw shooter coming into tonight. He makes the first one to bring the deficit to 1.
Yep, he's their leading scorer for a reason. He can get it done driving mid-range 3 and from the free throw line. There's not a single area where he can't score.
As it is Central Washington and Pacific Lutheran, both really strong teams, it would seem, in terms of their respective conferences. As Smith at the line for Central Washington, he will make that free throw. And the game is tied with 12:27 left to go in the first half.
Yep, it's a nice game so far. Things that are keeping Central into it, the offensive rebounds. Like I said earlier, the rebound is going to control this game.
15 all is the score. A lob pass up top for the play to be made by Brandon Rydell. Rydell stops up, kicks out for McCurdy. Sean McCurdy working his way in, hesitates, and a stoppage in play here, a travel call that will give Central Washington possession.
That right there, again, like you said earlier, that's just some jitters right there.
Up the floor comes David Thompson for Central Washington. A new addition to the team from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Here's Gilson on the high post. He'll work his way in, put one up, and it was a contested shot, and all Gilson could do was throw up a prayer there. Yep. On the far side, this is Sam Nolan. Nolan guarded on the play by Micah Pollard for the play by Rydell. Rydell near side for Sean McCurdy. Far side for Hall, guarded by Poquette. He hangs on. Now Gilson checks onto him. Seth Hall working his way through to the high post, and as a turnover results in a possible 3-on-1. Here comes David Thompson. Thompson lays it up and in. And Central Washington reclaims the lead 17-15. Timeout on the floor called by Chad Murray of the Pacific Lutheran Utes, as it is that turnover that seems to be a momentum shifter for Central Washington potentially here, Daniel.
Yep, these turnovers that turn into points off of turnovers and fast breaks, really great momentum builder for any team. Getting able to get an open shot, that high energy going down the court, no one can stop you. It's just a great energy builder you can have.
And it seems as if there was one player that really seems to be standing out in this game so far, it has got to be David Thompson, as Thompson so far with 8 points on night for Central Washington.
Yeah, he usually does most of his damage from three-point range, but he hasn't attempted a single three-pointer this game, but that doesn't seem to matter at all. He's getting in the lane, driving, doing some amazing layups, avoiding contact, and just finishing near the rim, which is amazing to see. And once he gets that in, they'll have to start sagging off a little, and that's when he can do his damage from three-point land, which we know he can snipe in.
So taking a look at Central Washington and what they have in store in this game, there's a lot to like about in terms of your leading players. A look at David Thompson. Thompson carrying the load for Central Washington. Also, a few players that you might want to see if you're head coach Brandon Rinta of the Wildcats to step up. I would say if there's one player that I would want to see, it would be Xavier Smith. He's the leading scorer for a reason, and so far he has been shut down with 2 points so far tonight.
Yep, definitely. He needs to get his shot going a little, do a little rhythm dribbles, get in his groove. You know he can turn it on at any time he wants. Just waiting for him to spike up. That'll be something that I'm looking forward to see.
That'll be part of the keys for this game, as it will be Pacific Lutheran who will inbound as they are down by 2. As Isaiah Banks is also in the game for Central Washington. Nolan for the near side play by Sean McCurdy. McCurdy guarded by Micah Pollard. Cycled again for Nolan for the far side play. Looking for McCurdy on the play was Tyler Ashmore. That ball went out of the reach of the player off the bench in Sean McCurdy.
Yep, that pass was thrown just a little too hard, a little to the left, not quite on target. Got to get better communication next time.
Here comes Thompson for Central Washington. He's guarded on the play by Sam Nolan. Driving in on Nolan is Thompson. He sent a pass that went off the hands of Ashmore. Here comes Poquette now with it over to the corner. Cycled in for Micah Pollard. Drives in. Down low for Poquette. He puts one up. Contested shot as the last touch went off of Marcus Gilson. And it'll be Pacific Lutheran basketball.
Even though that shot didn't go in, that's an amazing set right there. Passed out of the corner to an open Pollard. Pump fake, got to the mid-range, just didn't fall that time. But you'll take that shot 10 times out of 10.
Here is McCurdy to inbound for Pacific Lutheran. And with it now is Shane McCarthy-Fick over to the far side play that we made by Sean McCurdy. McCurdy averaging 12 points a game coming into the night for Brett Williams. Down low for the play by McCarthy-Fick. Far side now for play by McCurdy. McCurdy stops up near side on the far elbow. Now to the high post for the play and turning and setting up a chance is Rydell. Kicked out far side for McCarthy-Fick, who decides to shoot a 3 and score. McCarthy-Fick puts it in, and it's the Pacific Lutheran Lutes who take back the lead again.
That was quite a shot from McCarthy-Fick right there. Contested 30-footer in.
Here's Poquette. Far side point. Here's Micah Pollard. Pollard, he shoots a 3 off the rim. Rebound picked up by Gilson. He can't make it either. And last touch off of Central Washington. And it'll be Pacific Lutheran with possession. A huge 3 from McCarthy-Fick.
Yeah, that was put him up by 1. But what I like to see on Gilson on the offensive end, he's cleaning up the offensive boards. He's not going back as soon as the shot goes up, and that's what you like to see from your big man.
Here's McCarthy-Fick for a pass for Sean McCurdy. He stops up, kicked out far side, turned it over. Here comes Micah Pollard for Central Washington on the far side wing. Working around McCarthy-Fick. Near side for Isaiah Banks. Banks drives in. Working in on Nolan. Kicked out for Poquette. Far side post. Now here comes a driving Pollard. Kicked out far side wing. Here's a 3 that's good. Made on the play from Shaden Knight.
That was an amazing play right there. Got him with the pump, dribbled in, drew the defender off of him, and then just kicked it back out to the open person.
20-18 is the score. Central Washington out in front of Pacific Lutheran, and it looks like a play that goes out of bounds off of Micah Pollard. It'll be Pacific Lutheran basketball still.
Yeah, what I'm liking to see here, even though he didn't get that steal, just an effort on the defensive end. They've been racking up a ton of steals. A little bit on the fault of the Lutes for not being completely in their head, but it's some great defensive effort right now we're seeing.
Well, Williams inbounds for McCarthy Fick over to the far side now for the play in by Thomas to the inside. Driving in, putting a shot up. Blocked was Rydell on the play by Matt Poquette.
That was an amazing block by Poquette.
Here's Knight on the near side of wing to the inside for Gilson. Marcus Gilson finding Poquette. He puts one up underneath the basket and scores.
Man, Poquette get it done on the defensive end with the block, then immediately reward him with the layup. Easy, and I thought he got fouled a little there.
Yes, here comes Poquette, who has now scored. It's a 4-point lead. Driving to the inside and scoring on the play is Brett Williams.
That was an amazing cut right there. Defense just has to be a little more aware right there.
Knight on the far side, trying to work off the screen set up by Gilson. Knight working his way through, hands off for Gilson. He scores. What a play by Marcus Gilson as it was set up by Shaden Knight.
That was an amazing play from Knight. Just got him and then right to Gilson.
24-20, the Central Washington Wildcats lead Pacific Lutheran with 8:10 left to go here in the first half. Here's McCarthy Fick to the inside for Jordan Thomas of Pacific Lutheran. As a mishandle on the play off of Micah Pollard, it'll be Pacific Lutheran who will have possession with 8:04 to go, trailing 24-20.
Again, we like to see that effort from Central right here. Even though they don't completely get the steal, showing in that you're putting in the effort on the defensive end, poking balls out of hands, that's what you like to see.
Thomas to inbound for Pacific Lutheran to the far side for McCarthy Fick to the inside and out of the reach of Brandon Rydell, and it will be possession in favor of Central Washington as we have hit a timeout with 8 minutes left to go here in the first half. Danny DeBach alongside Daniel Caldera. In terms of what we've seen so far, some of the players that you would expect to be scoring for Central Washington, they have been doing their part, and David Thompson scoring 8, and also in Gilson and Poquette.
Yeah, for sure. I love what Gilson's doing. Again, the offensive rebound, huge momentum builder. It's something where it's like you don't get it to fall the first time, but then you get it the second time. Those are the momentum plays that you need to get ahead of in the games.
And then taking a look at the other side of the coin, if you are Chad Murray of Pacific Lutheran University, you have to like what you're seeing early on, especially from Jordan Thomas.
For sure, yeah. This whole team is playing well. There's a couple things that they could be doing better. Throwing better passes. There's been a couple passes that have been off the mark. A little bit of miscommunication right there. But overall, it's a great game. If they can just get their passing under control, hold on to the ball, not do errant plays like double dribbles, which they've done a couple, they'll be right in this again.
So definitely a close matchup between these two teams. That's a little bit what we expected here, as both these two teams only coming in with 2 losses on the campaign. And Central Washington, they are looking, they had a huge win against SPU in their GNAC opener, so that's something that you would expect to see from as Central Washington is coming out strong. 24-20 they lead. In the same case with Pacific Lutheran University, they've been winning and they're 2-0 in conference play in the NWC, so a lot to like from both sides. We'll see what happens the rest of the way here as play is back underway here as the Wildcats are moving from right to left across your radio dial. Here's Marcus Gilson, cycled over to the far side for Poquette. Handed off for the play by Isaiah Banks. Banks lobbed up ahead now for Poquette again. Poquette to the point for Banks. Banks drives in, kicks out to the corner for Shaden Knight, a 3 off the backside of the rim. Rebounded by Gilson and put up by Gilson and scored by Gilson.
Again, I keep saying it, but that offensive rebounding effort from Gilson is really amazing to see right now.
26-20, Central Washington out in front of Pacific Lutheran University. Over to the far side for the play to be made by Brandon Rydell. Rydell hands off for Tyler Ashmore for Shane McCarthy Fick. Now for Thomas. Jordan Thomas hangs on, guarded by Gilson on the mid-post. To the inside, Rydell off of his hands initially, and looks like it was last touch off of Marcus Gilson, and out of play, PLU basketball.
That's another poked ball by Central. Again, getting your hands in there, poking out the balls. Great effort on defense right there.
Here is McCarthy Fick to inbound for PLU. Lob to the inside for Thomas out of his reach, and now a scramble for it, gathered in by Isaiah Banks. Outletted on ahead for Shaden Knight, and up goes Shaden Knight driving in, puts a shot away. That one partially blocked, might have been contested there, as Knight was looking for a foul. Here's McCurdy over to the far side for the play to be made by Tyler Ashmore. He's guarded by Poquette. Now for McCurdy. McCurdy hangs on the point near side wing for Jordan Thomas. And the senior works a pass to the inside, finding McCurdy. McCurdy working around Knight, putting a shot away, and he gets the friendly roll, and it's a 4-point game.
That was some nice defense by Gilson. Had him all contested, and he had to spin to get away from him.
Isaiah Banks quarterbacks it to the near side for Xavier Smith, and he had a foot on the line, out of bounds. PLU will have possession.
Oof, that's a rough thing right there. You just got to be a little more aware of your surroundings. Make sure you're inbounds. Nothing can be done about that right there.
Thomas on the inbound. And it'll be Brett Williams bringing the ball up the floor for Pacific Lutheran University. Colby Jeanette back into the game for the Wildcats. To the inside, McCurdy. McCurdy puts a shot away. And that one was errant, and it'll be Matt Poquette the other way for Central Washington University.
That was some nice defense by Xavier Smith.
Poquette putting a shot away, and a contested chance, and he was looking for the foul, trying to draw it, and there won't be a foul called on the play. Pacific Lutheran will have the ball again.
That was some nice defense by Jordan Thomas. He did stay vertical, got all ball right there, just out-muscled by Jordan Thomas.
And it will be PLU who will inbound. The Lutes coming in overall 6-2 on the season. PLU 2-0 in conference play in this non-conference matchup between the Pacific Lutheran University and the Central Washington Wildcats. Danny Bach alongside Daniel Caldera as a three-pointer is airballed by the part of Tyler Ashmore.
That was some great defense by Gilson right there.
Here is Poquette. Poquette from the point to the far wing, hands off for Colby Jeanette. Jeanette finding Thompson open, cuts to the inside, leaving it for Smith. He works his way around Thomas, shoots a three, and the ricochet goes in.
That was quite the shot by Xavier Smith. Was open initially, then pumped him just to get the defender out, then step back for the three, easy.
7-point game as Central Washington out in front of PLU. The Lutes trying to answer. This is Brett Williams to the near side for Shane McCarthy-Fick at the point, to the inside for Jordan Thomas. Thomas in the paint, hesitates, kicks out, far side for Williams, back to the inside for Rydell. Brandon Rydell working it on Poquette. What a move and what a play!
That's a nice little post game by Rydell right there. Little spin move, then drop step, easy.
The deuce makes it 29-24 in favor of Central Washington. Stretch pass finding Xavier Smith. He works to the inside, kicked out for Colby Jeanette, a three-pointer. It's good! Colby Jeanette from downtown, and Central Washington takes an 8-point lead.
Jeanette is dangerous out there, 40% on the season. You can't leave him.
To the inside for PLU. This is Ashmore. In for Rydell. Brandon Rydell spin move on Poquette. What a move! He scores again!
I like to see this from PLU. Get their post game down a little. Quick, easy points inside. That's a good way to get a little bit of momentum up.
Head coach Brandon Rinta of Central Washington, he notices that the pace is going very quickly, so he decides to call a timeout. With the score, Central Washington 32, Pacific Lutheran University 26. And so far, taking a look at what we've seen here in this game, Daniel, PLU, Jordan Thomas again, 8 points, but now the scoring is a little bit more widely distributed amongst the players playing, as every man who has played for PLU has in action, with the exception of 2 players, have scored at least 3 points.
Definitely. Rydell, great post player, done a couple post moves, got the open shot from his moves. One thing that I'm looking at is Seth Hall. Only has 3 points, 1 shot, only taken 2 shots. Central's really locking him down, keying on him. Again, he scores 20 points per game. Nice effort by Central to lock him down.
4:29 left to go here in the first half. Danny DeBach alongside Daniel Caldera as it's Central Washington moving in as a hook shot that was initially missed by Gilson. Rebound, another chance. Gilson puts it away, and Central Washington restores their 8-point lead.
You love to see that on the offensive glass. 2 offensive rebounds, not giving up on the play.
Mitch Brizzi is in the game for Central Washington. It'll be intriguing for Central Washington fans to see how he performs. As a turnover on the play, stolen by Xavier Smith. Smith moving up ahead with Thompson, lays one up. Rebound got in by Thompson, and we are going to have a foul on the play, as it looks like the foul was initiated from the shot that came from Xavier Smith. And very quickly, an immediate timeout called here on the play. And with that, there will be 2 free throws that will be coming by way of Xavier Smith, as we have another timeout on the floor, as a timeout has been called on the play. So taking a look at what we've seen thus far, the Wildcats of Central Washington, Daniel, they're slowly starting to pull away in this early going in this first half. So it's going to be very key for PLU. Can they reel in and stop the bleeding?
Yep. One thing to do that, you have to box out on the defensive end. Get those defensive rebounds. They're not the most glorious thing to get, but you got to get them. There have been so many offensive rebounds by Gilson, Poquette. You just got to keep them off the glass. because they have about 6 to 8 points just on the offensive glass, and they're behind by 8. So if they can just clean up that defensive glass, they'll definitely be able to pull a little closer.
I like how, in terms of the Central Washington case, Marcus Gilson, he's making his baskets, as Gilson is leading the team already with 10 points rather, beg your pardon, so far in this game.
Yep. All of his rebounds have been offensive rebounds, and he's averaging only 4.5 rebounds per game this season. So having him at his average already with still minutes left in the first half is a great thing to see from the Central team.
A great look for Central Washington, as it'll be Xavier Smith who will head to the line, as it's Central Washington up by 8 so far in this game. And looking at the Pacific Lutheran side of the equation, in terms of scoring, like we said earlier, very evenly distributed.
Definitely. Seth Hall's got to get going if they want to get closer in this. Additionally, they've been doing Rydell. He's been getting it done in the post, but you got to get more scoring.
So taking a look, as making the initial free throw was Xavier Smith to add to make the lead 9. Also in terms of how both these two teams have been doing, in terms of the three-point shooting, it's quite the advantage for Central Washington, as Smith makes the second free throw, going perfect from there. It is Central Washington up by 10. Here comes Pacific Lutheran University with Sam Nolan cycled on ahead for Brandon Rydell. Rydell hands off for Seth Hall. Hall, a three-pointer jumper. That one is missed. The unfriendly roll off the rim, and that leads Central Washington the other direction. Here comes Thompson. David Thompson working in on Nolan. Guarded, double-teamed also by Rydell. Thompson contested jumper. He scores. And it's a 12-point lead for Central Washington with 3:30 to go in the first half.
What a shot. That was amazing. Falling away off the block. That's just all offense right there.
In traffic there, he was able to get the shot away. That was Thompson. Now this is Sam Nolan for Pacific Lutheran University, guarded by Jeanette. Drop down low for the play to be made by Brett Williams. Williams hands off for Seth Hall. Hall trying to work his way through the double team. Kicked out all alone is Sam Nolan. He misses the three. Loose ball gathered in by Central Washington. Back the other way comes Xavier Smith. Smith on the far side. Guarded on the play by Brett Williams. He works to the inside in the paint. Turns, spin move, puts a shot away, and scores. What a play by Xavier Smith.
That was something. Above both of PLU's big men. Somehow flips it up over the two of them, and it gets the lucky bounce in.
Central Washington a 40-26 lead with 2:46 left to go here in this first half. As we take a look at what we've seen so far, as PLU, they were able to have a little bit of a lead. They led 15-13 at one point, but then Central Washington, they have overcome with the lead, and they've had the lead for the majority of this game here.
Definitely. They're definitely controlling the offensive end. They're not rushing any shots. You saw initially in the first minute or so, there were a couple of shots that did seem rushed, but they did get themselves under control, and that's how you get time with the lead.
In terms of what we've seen for the scoring here, the one statistic that really stands out to me for Central Washington, the points off turnovers. That is, in all likelihood, the difference of this game so far in terms of momentum and by the scoreboard.
Yep, 4 steals for Central, but that's awesome.
On the far side, this will be the play to be made by Nolan. Here's a contested three, an air ball on the play, as having a foot out of bounds was Sean McCurdy. And with that, it'll be Central Washington who will now have possession.
Yep, that right there is settling for a shot. Like I said, Central is pacing themselves to not settling. They're finding an open person. That right there wasn't the best shot.
Here is Gilson. Hands off for Smith, back to Gilson again. Gilson cycled up for Xavier Smith, drives in, working in turn, spin move, drops it down low for the scoring Mitch Brizzi.
What a play by Xavier Smith right there, spinning away from the defender and then finding up someone who's even more open.
And Mitch Brizzi, who scores for Central Washington, 42-26 is a lead with 2:10 left to go in the half. Now this is Sean McCurdy driving in on Gilson. He tried to escort a shot as it was last touch off of Central Washington University. PLU basketball underneath the basket.
That was a nice little tipped ball from David Thompson. Even though they have the ball still, you love to see that effort.
Nolan to inbound. He finds on the near side Hall. Seth Hall double teamed on the play. He tried to send a pass that was turned over. Jeanette able to force the pass, and that will be a foul called on Jeanette.
Yeah, that was nice from Jeanette right there, getting inside the passing lanes. Again, I think that's just 5th steal right now. That's 10 possessions. That's 10 points that PLU has gotten rid of. That's just amazing job cramming the passing lanes.
Central Washington moving from right to left across your radio dial. Here's Thompson. Thompson trying to work his way in on Nolan. Puts a shot away and scores. It's 44-26 in favor of Central Washington.
That's a mean handle by Thompson right there. Nothing the defender could do right there.
Here is Williams. Brett Williams to the inside for Tyler Ashmore. Ashmore for Rydell. Rydell spin move on Gilson. As it's McCurdy. He drives in on Brizzy. Kicked out far side for Ashmore. Tyler Ashmore into the corner for Nolan. Nolan working his way through. Hesitates. Dropped out for McCurdy. McCurdy a three! No good. Rebounded by Brizzy.
That's a shame. That's an open shot that you want.
Here's Jeanette. Jeanette right again. He looked for the dunk and he came up empty.
Sometimes you gotta settle with a layup. Don't get too ahead of yourself.
Far side for Hall. Hall guarded by Brizzy. Hall, a deep three! No good. Rebounded by Central.
Again, that's a shot that you're settling for. That's contested. You don't want that.
Here is David Thompson for Central Washington. 52 seconds left to go here in the first half. Over to the far side for Xavier Smith. Smith for Thompson. Thompson at the point to the inside for Brizzy. Brizzy lost the handle of the ball. Here comes Pacific Lutheran University. 10-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock from the mountain range. Turning and shooting and scoring on the play is Sam Nolan. Wow!
That's a nice little pull-up by Sam Nolan. Saw David Thompson in the paint ready to guard him and just pulled up to avoid the contest.
As there is a 3-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Here is Thompson. Thompson for Central Washington, bleeding the seconds down. Waiting to set up maybe the final possession for Central Washington here in this first half. Here's Thompson trying to work off the screen from Brizzy. He kicks out to the far side. Here's Thompson. Thompson, a contested shot, and he scores! What a play from Thompson!
That was amazing. Behind the back snatchback.
McCurdy at the end of the half, and that one was errant and airballed, and that is the way the first half will end with the score. Central Washington 46, Pacific Lutheran University 28. We'll be right back with more action in our halftime show here on the Wildcat Sports Radio Network.
Please join 88 Wunderberg in thanking our proud sponsor, Central Park Apartments. Located at the end of East Helena Avenue, Central Park Apartments offer 1 to 4 bedroom apartment homes with amenities including a swimming pool, fitness center, and multi-purpose court. All rooms are open concept with storage space, heating, and air conditioning, as well as in-unit washer and dryers. Tours can be scheduled through their website, and more information about pricing and availability can be found by calling 509-925-1247.
Attorneys can help with many things. Traffic citations, criminal accusations, and arrests. 88 Wunderberg would like to thank its proud sponsor, attorney Mark Chmielewski. Mark's office is located on Pine Street in downtown Ellensburg, walking distance from the CWU campus and the courthouse. With over 30 years' experience as a state deputy prosecuting attorney, municipal court judge, city prosecuting attorney, judge pro tem, and defense attorney, Mark can be reached at mac1law.com or by calling 933-1LAW.
88 Wunderberg would like to thank our proud sponsor, The Barber Shop. Open Tuesday through Saturday, The Barber Shop specializes in men's haircuts, classic fades, tapers, and beard trimming. Walk-ins are welcome, and appointments can be booked through their app. The Barber Shop is located at 1011 North Alder Street behind Weinigers in the same building as Linder Chiropractic. More information about haircuts and pricing can be found by searching The Barber Shop on Facebook. 88 Wunderberg would like to thank our proud sponsor, The Barber Shop. Open Tuesday through Saturday, The Barber Shop specializes in men's haircuts, classic fades, tapers, and beard trimming. Walk-ins are welcome, and appointments can be booked through their app. The Barber Shop is located at 1011 North Alder Street behind Weinigers in the same building as Linder Chiropractic. More information about haircuts and pricing can be found by searching The Barber Shop on Facebook.
88 Wunderberg would like to thank our proud sponsor, Central Transit. Operating 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., Central Transit is Ellensburg's public transit service. Stops include Fred Meyer, Safeway, The Verge, and Brooklyn Village. All buses have bike racks and are ADA accessible. For bus routes, stops, and pickup times, the Transit app is available for download. More information can be found on their website at centraltransit.org.
88.1 The Berg would like to thank our proud sponsor, Northwest Luxury Spas.
Now open in Ellensburg off Main Street next to Ellensburg Power Sports, they offer supplies, scheduled services, and digital water testing. Northwest Luxury Spas is also a licensed Clearwater spa dealer.
More information on spas, services, and supplies can be found on their website at nwluxuryspas.com or by calling 509-925-1142.
.1 The Berg would like to thank our proud sponsor, Yakima Federal Savings and Loan. With 10 locations in central Washington, including Ellensburg, Yakima, and the Tri-Cities, Yakima Federal offers a variety of services, including free, clear choice student checking accounts, savings accounts, home loans, and more. More information can be found on their website at yakimafed.com or by calling 509-925-5338. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Please join 88.1 The Berg in thanking our proud sponsor, Central Park Apartments. Located at the end of East Helena Avenue, Central Park Apartments offer 1 to 4 bedroom apartment homes with amenities including a swimming pool, fitness center, and multi-purpose court. All rooms are open concept with storage space, heating, and air conditioning, as well as in-unit washer and dryers. Tours can be scheduled through their website, and more information about pricing and availability can be found by calling 509-925-1247.
Welcome to the Wildcat Sports Radio Network Halftime Show, brought to you by CWU Athletics and the Wildcat Sports Radio Network.
Back here in the PAV, as they call it, Nicholson Pavilion in Ellensburg, Washington. And so far in this first half, it was Central Washington pulling away as they lead 46-28 over the Pacific Lutheran Lutes. Hello again, everyone. Danny Bach alongside Daniel Caldera as we are in what's called as the Crow's Nest here in Central Washington University, as it is Central out to a 46-20 lead over Pacific Lutheran. And for the terms of the Wildcats here of Central Washington, a lot to like in terms of the scoring from the 3 main stars of Central.
Yeah, for sure. You got, starting off with Xavier Smith, Central's leading scorer with 9 points. Love to see what he's doing. He's hit all of his free throws. That's always awesome to have. 2 of 4 from the field, hit a 3-pointer. He's been very efficient, not forcing anything, which you love to see from Xavier Smith. Then you got David Thompson, again, known for his 3-point shooting, hasn't attempted a single 3-pointer this entire game. But it turns out he doesn't need that at all, because he's shot 7 of 10 from the field. All of it has been driving crazy layups. You don't expect him to go in, but he somehow finds a way for them to go in. He's been amazing to watch, finding him get that ball in the hoop. And then Marcus Gilson, the guy that I've been looking at most of the game. 10 points, and I believe 6 of those have come off of offensive rebounds. All of his rebounds have been offensive, 4 rebounds total, and that's just amazing to see. The extra effort he puts in to clean up any misses, you love to see that from your big person.
And then also taking a look at the retrospect, the other side of the coin in PLU, Pacific Lutheran University, and their story in this game. And the leading scorer is someone that comes as a little bit of a surprise, as he has already scored as many points as he is averaging in a game so far this year in Jordan Thomas.
Yep, definitely a pleasant surprise for the Lutes right here. 8 points tonight so far, 4 of 6 from the field. Some nice drives. I think one of them was a little mid-range. You'd love to see him crash the rebounds a little more. He averages 7 on the season, and he has 0. So kudos to Central right there for boxing him out, dialing down on him. But you love what you're seeing from him on the offensive end so far. And then also Rydell. He's only got 3 shots, but from what we saw from him, all 3 touches, which he has done, he's controlled the post. He looks calm and collected. He's not rushing anything, getting to a spot and just flipping it up and in.
And in terms of the paint presence, I would say that of amongst all the players that will provide that for Pacific Lutheran University. I would say it would come by way of, yes, those forwards, also in the efforts that'll be taken into account by Brett Williams. Williams is one of them, and also I would take into account Sean McCurdy working off the bench. Those are the two players that will tend to work in as that forward position, and also Tyler Ashmore. Those forwards and Rydell, as you said, those will be the keys in terms of if Pacific Lutheran is going to work their way back here into this game here.
Definitely. Brett Williams, you're going to want him to get a little more. Only 4 shots so far, but he averages 7 points per game. Only 4 points. He's getting up to his average, but you'd love to see him get a little more touches down low. You know he can do some moves, clean up the offensive rebounds a little. You're just waiting for him to break out a little. McGurdy, 5 shots, 2 of 5. He's been nice. Again, just trying to get them open looks. There's been a lot of forcing, so just settling down, keeping your composure, not rushing anything, and finding an open look. Because there have been some pretty good shots, and they're just not connecting. So just getting those shots to fall, and then just staying calm and composed.
So looking at what are some of, so in terms of, as we're just about set, as we're a few minutes away to start the second half, I want to ask a few questions here, Daniel, in terms of what this second half will have in store. What would be some of the keys that you would want to see in PLU if they want to work their way back in the game? Let's say 3 keys for PLU to work their way back into the game.
Number 1 is definitely the 3-point shooting. They're 1 of 11 from 3 right now. And a lot of those have been open shots, so they've been good looks, but they just need those to connect and go down. And then also on the rebounding, crashing the defensive glass. Marcus Gilson has 4 offensive rebounds and 6 points off of those. You need to box him out. And then finally, just calming down. There's been a lot of errant passes, miscommunication, some passes, some dribbles which have kind of been bobbled, double dribbles. Just calming down, settling down, getting your nerves under check, because even though the lead is pretty big, it's totally possible to come back from this right now.
And then for Central Washington, you're up by 18. What can you do in order to retain the lead and perform very strongly here in this second half?
Just keep what they've been doing. Like, they've been doing almost everything perfect. They haven't been passing the ball too bad. They haven't had turnovers. They've been crashing the offensive glass. They've been crashing the defensive glass. They've been contesting shots. There's been so many shots that have once appeared to be open, but then out of nowhere, a central player comes in and closes out. You love to see that pressure on the defensive end. And there's been a lot of effort on defense that, even though it doesn't show up in the stat sheet as a steal or a block, just little pokes at the ball, keeping the Lutes on their toes and keeping them honest. You love to see that pressure on defense.
It was Central Washington coming into this game, averaging 6 steals a game. They already have 5, and this is only the first half. So obviously those numbers might see an uptick. They might rise, especially after this game, if things go the way they continue. In terms of also what's going on in terms of Central Washington athletics, a score update from what happened in the women's game in Nampa, Idaho, in the Johnson Sports Center in Nampa, as it was the Lady Wildcats of Central Washington taking on the Northwest Nazarene Nighthawks. As coming into this game, NNU had a 5-game winning streak against the Wildcats, and it was a close affair as Central Washington led by as many as 12. But then it was Northwest Nazarene who barely eked out a win over Central Washington, 61-59. And one of the main key players for Central Washington really flourished. Another double-double for Samantha Bowman, 29 points and 16 rebounds, and Kiza Maltizo had 12 points as well for the Wildcats of Central Washington University. Cassie Malcolm only 7 points for Central Washington, as it was the Wildcats of Central Washington who really was hurt desperately by how many steals that took place in this game. As Northwest Nazarene, they are definitely ball hawks. 10 steals in the game for NNU. That was one of the main key factors that did the Wildcats in this game.
Yeah, for sure. They need to keep control of the ball, passes, get control, make sure that there's no one in the lanes, keeping control of the ball, keeping that ball down low, just focusing on keeping the ball in your possession and not getting out of control.
So, but then again, it is Samantha Bowman, the star for Central Washington, being a star yet again with another double-double with 29 points and 16 rebounds. So, Central Washington coming up just short as it will drop the Lady Wildcats record to 1-2. But the men's will have another second half to get back into action here in Nicholson Pavilion in Ellensburg, Washington, as we'll be right back for the start of the second half here on the Wildcat Sports Radio Network.
Attorneys can help with many things: traffic citations, criminal accusations, and arrests. 88 The Berg would like to thank its proud sponsor, attorney Mark Shimoleski. Mark's office is located on Pine Street in downtown Ellensburg, walking distance from the CWU campus and the courthouse. With over 30 years' experience as a state deputy prosecuting attorney, municipal court judge, city prosecuting attorney, judge pro tem, and defense attorney, Mark can be reached at mac1law.com or by calling 933-1LAW.
88 The Berg would like to thank our proud sponsor, The Barber Shop. Open Tuesday through Saturday, The Barber Shop specializes in men's haircuts, classic fades, tapers, and beard trimming. Walk-ins are welcome, and appointments can be booked through their app. The Barber Shop is located at 1011 North Alder Street behind Weinigers in the same building as Linder Chiropractic. More information about haircuts and pricing can be found by searching The Barber Shop on Facebook.
88 The Berg would like to thank our proud sponsor, Central Transit. Operating 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., Central Transit is Ellensburg's public transit service. Stops include Fred Meyer, Safeway, The Verge, and Brooklyn Village. All buses have bike racks and are ADA accessible. For bus routes, stops, and pickup times, the Transit app is available for download. More information can be found on their website at centraltransit.org.
88 The Berg would like to thank our proud sponsor, Northwest Luxury Spas.
Now open in Ellensburg off Main Street next to Ellensburg Power Sports, they offer supplies, scheduled services, and digital water testing. Northwest Luxury Spas is also a licensed Clearwater spa dealer.
More information on spas, services, and supplies can be found on their website at nwluxuryspas.com or by calling 509-925-1142.
Back underway here in this second half with Central Washington out in front of PLU 46-28. Danny Bach alongside Daniel Caldera for the start of the second half. On the far side, Seth Hall puts one up. Rebound, loose ball gathered in by Jordan Thomas, kicked out to the near side for a long-range three. Off the front side of the rim by Williams, gathered in by Thomas. Jordan Thomas hangs on for PLU. Kicked out far side for Seth Hall. Cycled on now for Nolan. Nolan near side for the play to be made by Ashmore. Far side now Hall. Hall guarded by Smith and broken up by Jeanette. Colby Jeanette on the far side wing for Central Washington. Over for Gilson, near side for Thompson at the point, beg your pardon. Far side for Gilson. Gilson now for the play by Colby Jeanette for Thompson, near side. Thompson lobbed in ahead. Poquette in the high post, puts a shot away. Off the rim, ricocheted off of his hands, and it'll be taken away by Pacific Lutheran. They head the other direction. Driving in is Jordan Thomas. Thomas finding on the inside, turning, shooting, and scoring is Tyler Ashmore.
That was some nice help defense by Poquette, but that was a better shot by Ashmore.
Ashmore on the finish, a 16-point lead for Central Washington, moving from left to right across your radio dial. This is Xavier Smith. He puts a shot away, and a contested jumper. That one will be rebounded by PLU.
That right there is settling. You can probably find a more open shot.
Here's Thomas. Thomas working on Gilson. Lobbed on the far side for the play by Williams. Williams stops it back to the outside of the edge of the perimeter for the play to be made by Thomas. Now Ashmore finding the loose man. That is Nolan. Nolan to the inside. Kicked out far side. Long range three is airballed by Tyler Ashmore.
That was a shot that at the end of the shot clock you kind of have to live with. It was the most open shot, only 3 seconds left. Even though it's not the greatest shot, you kind of live with that.
Up the floor for Central Washington comes David Thompson. 46-30, Central Washington out in front of Pacific Lutheran University. Here's Xavier Smith, a lob play turned over. Driving in alone is Jordan Thomas. He scores! What a play on the slam!
That's a nice job getting in those passing lanes and not on their fast break. That's what Central was doing the entire first half.
46-32, Central Washington still in the lead here. Here's Colby Jeanette, far side for Thompson. Thompson, his three-pointer off the front side of the rim and out, and back the other way comes Pacific Lutheran University. Thomas for Ashmore. Ashmore lob to the inside, and scoring on the play is Brett Williams.
Oh, he caught Xavier Smith sleeping on that backdoor cut.
And up the floor comes Thompson. David Thompson for Central Washington University. He is guarded on the play by Nolan. Smith lobbed up ahead for Gilson. Gilson to the inside. Colby Jeanette finding down low and slamming it is Pocat.
That was a nice speed from Jeanette to Pocat.
Jeanette to Pocat. Back the other way comes Thomas. Thomas left it down low for Tyler Ashmore. Back into the inside of the high post for Thomas. Thomas kicked out for Ashmore. A three. Good. What a play on the three-pointer from Ashmore.
That's a nice shot by Ashmore. Lutz are starting to pull in a little. Oh, and they got the steal.
That's right, a steal. Back the other way comes Seth Hall. Kicked out far side corner, three-pointer is good. Made from Sam Nolan. Wow, what an answer. What a response from PLU. And the lead is now cut to 8. Wow.
That's quite the turnaround from the lead that they have at the half. The Lutz really just did something at halftime. The coach must have given them quite the speed because they've been coming out firing, sharp on defense, sharp on offense. They were hitting those open shots from three that they were missing in the first half. Again, those are the shots you want. One way or another, they're going to start falling, and now they are.
What an impressive way for PLU. They've cut into the halftime lead that originally was at 18. Wow, what a showcase from Pacific Lutheran University as they are showing their perseverance against this Central Washington team.
Yep.
And with that, we will pause 10 seconds to let our stations identify themselves. This is the Wildcat Sports Radio Network.
You're listening to the Wildcat Sports Radio Network on KCWU,
Kinda sad.
Ellensburg.
Well, back here, it is Central Washington University here in Ellensburg, Washington. Danny DeBach alongside Daniel Caldera with 16:39 left to go here in the second half, and it was Pacific Lutheran University rallying back, and they have cut that deficit. Now it's 48-40.
Yep, that's all credit to the Lutz right there. They've been getting it on the defensive end. What Central was doing the entire first half, clogging the passing lanes, jumping on the ball, that's what the Lutz are now doing. They're getting in those passing lanes, and now they are within 8.
And it'll be Central Washington looking to slow down the bleeding. Here comes David Thompson for Central Washington, who's guarded on the play by Sam Nolan. Thompson one-on-one with Nolan. Thrust it over to the far side. Here's Xavier Smith on the far wing. He sends one for Colby Jeanette. Jeanette guarded by Seth Hall. He hesitates to the inside, looking for Gilson out of his reach. And out of play it will go, and it'll be PLU with possession.
Oof, that was a good idea, but you got to get the pass a little higher.
Here comes Pacific Lutheran University with it. Bringing it up the floor is Thomas for Nolan. Nolan near side wing for McCurdy. Sean McCurdy stops up at the point near side for Williams. Brad Williams guarded by Pocat. In for Thomas. Thomas driving in on Jeanette. Kicked out for McCurdy at long range three. It's good. What a play made by Sean McCurdy. And quickly back the other way in transition. Here comes David Thompson. Thompson works his way to the inside. Finding Gilson down low. He scores. And it's 50-42 in favor of Central Washington University.
That's a welcome sight to see from Central, getting an easy bucket down low.
Thomas hands it off down low for McCurdy at the elbow. He stops up, hands off for Thomas on the outside, cuts to the inside. Thomas working on Thompson, and a stoppage in play here, and it looks like it's going to be a foul called on the play. And it will be Thompson who will head towards the bench, and we have a timeout called on the floor, a foul that will be called on Thompson.
Yeah, that was a little poor defense by Thompson. Remember, you got to stay straight up. He leaned in a little and got him on the shot, and he was smart enough to throw the shot up, and boom, there's the foul.
And maybe a little bit that could be improved on there by way of the defense of Thompson. So taking a look at what we've seen so far for PLU as they have made that surge, and now it's Jordan Thomas now with 10 points on the night.
Yep, one thing that is definitely helping PLU get into this, like I said earlier, they were having a lot of good open shots from three in the first half, but they just weren't connecting. Now they are. You've got multiple people with a three-pointer in this half now. You got Noland and you got McGoddy
Fick, who scored, yes.
Yep, and again, that's just a great way to get back in the game, and they're doing it. You've also got Seth Hall, still hasn't impacted the game like you expect him to, with his average of 20 points per game. Only has 3, but with the team around him picking it up, that's no worry for Seth Hall.
And taking a look at what we saw in terms of the paint battle, it seems as if Pacific Lutheran is really starting to gain their way by having a lot of steals that have set up PLU baskets.
Definitely. Getting those steals, getting the easy, fast break points. And then you also like to see in the paint on the other end, they're clogging the lane. They're not letting David Thompson get in the lane and doing the layup that he was doing earlier. So it's nice to see that.
From the baseline, it will be PLU who will inbound. As in it goes, and working his way through is Seth Hall. He scores the basket, and it's 50-44 in favor of Central Washington University.
And maybe that's a little sign that Seth Hall is now starting to get turned on a bit.
Far side wing. This is Xavier Smith. He lends it off for Marcus Gilson, driving through in the paint. He lost control of the ball. Up ahead, here comes Hall. Hall working his way right through. He puts one up and scores. Seth Hall, what a play. It's now, of all things, a 4-point game.
That was quite the play from Seth Hall.
Off the screen from Gilson, it's Thompson. David Thompson looking for Gilson. Gilson keeps the play alive. In for Thompson. Thompson puts a shot away. He scores. What a play from David Thompson.
That's a good way to salvage a ruined play. Get the offensive foot back and get it up and in.
Here is Hall. Seth Hall, guarded by Xavier Smith. 52-46 in favor of Central Washington. Cycled for Ashmore to the inside for Jordan Thomas. Thomas driving in. And we have a stoppage of play here, and it's going to be a foul called on the play by Marcus Gilson.
Yeah, he's got to stay vertical. Don't move your arms out, and that's where they got him on the foul.
And with that, we will have Pacific Lutheran with possession. PLU coming into this game with a record of 6-2 overall, 2-0 in conference play in the NWC. In this non-conference battle with the Central Washington Wildcats. On the far side is Nolan. Nolan to the point. He'll hand off for Sean McCurdy. McCurdy leaves it for Jordan Thomas. Thomas at the far side, elbow driving in on Marcus Gilson. Puts a shot up, and he is finding the back end of the rim. And quickly the other way comes Xavier Smith. Smith drives in, puts one up, and he was looking for the foul. Couldn't find it there. Back the other way comes Pacific Lutheran University. Down by 6. Kick down near side. Nolan, uncontested 3. Hits the edge of the rim, and that one will head in and out, and it will be Central Washington with possession of 52-46 with 13:59 left to go in regulation.
Once again, that was a good look from 3. Had him open, 2 passes to the open man. Couldn't hit that one, but again, they've been hitting him lately, so that's a good look to have right now.
Amari Stafford to inbound for Central Washington. Also in the game is Shaden Knight. And it has a little bit of the younger stars on the floor for Central Washington. Near side for Isaiah Banks. Banks kicked out far side for Knight into the corner for Micah Pollard. Pollard works to the inside for Gilson. Gilson hesitates, leaves it for Amari Stafford. Stafford working around Thomas. Elevates the shot. That one was partially blocked by Thomas. Back the other way come the Lutes of PLU. As it's forwarded on ahead for Thomas. Thomas puts a shot away, and an offensive foul called on the play as Thomas is wondering why the call was called against him. And with that, it will be Central Washington possession.
That was some great foot setting right there. Got outside of the restricted area, hands up, not moving, and fall back.
So it will be Central Washington again with the ball. 46-52. PLU trails Central Washington University. Here's Isaiah Banks. He lost his shoe on the play. Near side for Stafford. Now for the play by Micah Pollard. Pollard hangs on for Amari Stafford on the near side wing. To the inside for Marcus Gilson. Banks is still without his shoe. Here's Gilson. He puts a shot up. He scores. Marcus Gilson on the play. And there will be a stoppage in play here as Isaiah Banks lost his shoe on the play. but still, Central Washington scored on the basket.
That was a nice little move by Gilson right there. Not getting an offensive rebound, but instead putting it up the first try and getting it the first try.
And now it is Banks who has gotten his shoe back onto his feet. I think it's important here, Daniel, to have both shoes on when you're playing the game.
Definitely. Without a shoe, you're going to get stepped on and hurt your ankle.
Far side, contested three-pointer off the mark from Hall. Back the other way comes Micah Pollard, possibly a 2-on-1. Here's Pollard, drives into the inside, lays it up and scores. What a play from Micah Pollard up the wing. He puts it in. Central Washington restores their 10-point lead. On the far side, this is Tyler Ashmore. Ashmore for the play by Seth Hall. Hall guarded by Pollard, near side for the play by McCurdy. To the inside for Tyler Ashmore. He's guarded by Gilson. Working to the inside, Seth Hall puts a shot, partially blocked by Pollard again. A surprise there as Pollard with another block on the year. Pollard, he lost control of the ball. Last touch off of Pollard. It will be PLU basketball. Great defensive work there on the far side by Seth Hall.
Yep, definitely. And that was two defensive plays right there. Pollard got the block, but then Seth Hall got the steal back. A battle on defense as opposed to a battle on offense is just as fun to watch.
McCurdy to inbound for PLU. 56-46. 12:20 left to go here in the second half. It is Pacific Lutheran University with possession. Up the wing, here comes PLU. In with Tyler Ashmore on the inside. He's guarded by Gilson. He works to the inside. And a steal partially by Micah Pollard. Ball goes out of bounds, and it will be PLU basketball on the far sideline.
And that's the sort of stuff we were seeing in the first half of Central. That we're just now starting to see a little bit in the second half. Getting in the passing lanes, stripping the ball, even though you don't get to steal. It's a good way to set the tone.
And this is Ashmore as we have a stoppage in play here. It looks like there's going to be a foul that'll be called on the play. And that will bring PLU with possession as the foul will be initiated there. And that foul will be called on Amari Stafford. And with that, we have a timeout on the floor with 12 minutes exactly left to go here in regulation. Danny DeBach alongside Daniel Caldera. And so far in this game, from what we have seen, Central Washington, they are flexing their muscle as they lead right now by 10. As it is still two players in double figures in Thompson and Gilson.
Yep, Thompson's not getting all the shots that he was getting in the first half. He's not getting in the lane nearly as much. Credit to the Lutes for that. They've been clogging up the paint pretty well. But Thompson needs to get going, pick up where he left in the first half. Gilson, as opposed to getting offensive rebounds for points, he's now getting them done off a pass, off a post move. Just a great way to stop the bleeding a little. The lead is now 10 as opposed to 6. A way that Central has been controlling that, the defensive end. They have picked up their defensive pace a little, and we're starting to see a little more of what we saw in the first half come to play right here.
In terms of PLU, a great comeback so far to work their way back into the game. Now it's starting to seep away from them. What must PLU do right now in order to trim this 10-point deficit?
PLU's got to start being more calm on offense. As soon as they started getting that momentum and the lead, they started to be a little out of control. They need to calm down a little and get back to the way that they were playing.
PLU to inbound from underneath the basket. To the near side for Brett Williams. Williams hangs on, finding Tyler Ashmore on the near side wing to the far side. To the point for Nolan. Nolan hands off to the inside. Ashmore in for McCurdy. McCurdy puts up a jumper. That one off the rim. Ricochets out, and it'll be Amari Stafford who'll bring it up, and now hands off for Shade Knight. Back over to Stafford to the far side. Driving in Micah Pollard, and we have a stoppage in play. It looks like it'll be a foul call that will retain possession in favor of Central Washington University.
Yep, that was a little bit of foul. Got to move in, got the arm in, and that's a foul. Can't do that.
So with that, Central Washington will inbound in the form of Shaden Knight. Knight sends a stretch pass, finding Amari Stafford on the far side wing. Hands off for Knight. Knight thought about a three, then shoots a three. That one's error. That's an air ball, and it'll be PLU. Will have possession back the other way. Here comes Sean McCurdy. McCurdy in the near side for McCarthy Fick. McCarthy Fick hands off now for the play by Nolan. Sam Nolan at the point. He hangs on. And Nolan fakes the handoff to Ashmore, finding the inside play. That'll be taken by McCurdy. Sean McCurdy puts a shot away. That one off the edge of the rim and out. Here comes Central Washington very swiftly as Micah Pollard strides through, and a foul that will be called on the play by Brett Williams.
It was quite a display of handles by Micah Pollard right there. Behind the back, between the legs, weaving between every single Luke defender right there. That was fun to see.
56-46 remains the score with 11:03 left to go in the second half. Danny DeBach alongside Daniel Caldera from the PAV in Ellensburg, Washington, Dean Nicholson Pavilion. Here is Isaiah Banks on the edge of the perimeter. He drives into the elbow, cuts to the inside through the pack. What a move made by Banks as he banks it in. 58-46, Central Washington in front.
That was quite the move. You're right. That was a nice little step through. Got both defenders jumping and just got it up and in.
Up the wing comes Nolan. Nolan on the near side wing. Cycled far side. Ashmore for the play on the far side wing to be made by Brett Williams. Williams guarded by Pollard near side for the play. Made by McCurdy inside for McCarthy Fick. McCarthy Fick dishes out far side for a long range three. That's good from Tyler Ashmore.
That was quite the three. He only shoots 20% from three, but he saw the chance and took it.
58-49. Central Washington out in front. Far side wing for Pollard, finding Isaiah Banks. Banks to the inside, kicked out for Stafford. Stafford, dish down low for Gilson. He'll shoot a three. Marcus Gilson puts it in. A three-pointer, a 61-49 lead for Central Washington.
That's a nice answer from Gilson. He shoots 33% from three. He's got the range to do that.
Williams drives right through, and he comes up empty-handed. Back the other way comes Central Washington. Here's Gilson. Gilson working in on Ashmore. Cycled for Pollard. Pollard, he'll shoot a three from time to time. He'll put a jumper up and score. Micah Pollard puts it in. 63-49. Central Washington leading with 9:29 to go.
That was a nice little hop step by Pollard. Got the defense off of him. Oh, and with a steal.
A steal. Micah Pollard in alone, driving in on Williams. He scores. What a play from Micah Pollard. Capitalizing off the turnover. Central Washington extending their lead, 65-49.
Yep, Central starting to pull away a little on that defensive end.
PLU looking to change the pace. McCurdy off his foot. He regains control near the half-court line. Nearly a half-court violation. Near side for the play by Sam Nolan. Nolan for McCurdy. McCurdy, he'll take his time. Far side for Williams to the inside. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Driving and putting a shot away and scoring is Tyler Ashmore.
That was quite the move. Got the reverse in and buckets.
And with that, an immediate timeout that is called on the play by Pacific Lutheran University. 8:46 left to go here in this second half here. With 8:46 left to go, taking a look at what we've seen now for Pacific Lutheran University. We have two players that are now in double digits in Ashmore and Thomas.
Yep, Ashmore's starting to get it going a little more. Got that three-pointer to fall. He only shoots 20% from three, but you can tell he wasn't afraid to do that. He took that with no hesitation. And then, of course, Jordan Thomas, we know what he's been doing, driving, getting in the lanes, and he's been getting his rebounds a little more, so it's nice to see him on the boards.
And in terms of Central Washington University, you have to like what you're seeing from the defensive side of the ball. And that was one of the question marks we were seeing because this Pacific Lutheran team, they score at such a rampant pace, and it seems as if Central's defense is putting on a great performance here tonight.
Definitely. You saw the Lutes start to pull in a little bit, but as soon as they did, Coach called a timeout and got Central back on the defensive mindset.
Might have been a great timeout called by head coach Brandon Rinta. Here is Micah Pollard. Pollard from the point. He'll shoot a jumper, and it's good. Micah Pollard from downtown, another three-pointer. Central Washington, another three. They lead, or a two-pointer, beg your pardon, 67-51. The Wildcats of Central Washington out in front. Here is PLU with possession now. McCarthy Fick for the far side for Tyler Ashmore. To the inside for McCurdy, Sean McCurdy. He'll hesitate, turn, spin move, working in on Stafford, a hook shot. That one's no good, and it'll be Central Washington back the other way. This is Shaden Knight for Micah Pollard. Pollard back for Knight. Knight working to the inside on McCarthy Fick. This will be a two-pointer, and it's good. 69-51, Central Washington out in front.
Yeah, that was a nice little move by Knight. Jab step, got the defender away from him, then step back and an open shot.
And over to the far side, this will be Sam Nolan. Nolan guarded by Knight. To the near side for Tyler Ashmore on the near side wing. He's guarded by Poquette. Right-handed dribble near side for the play to be made by McCarthy Fick. Back to Ashmore. Ashmore driving in. Right-handed dribble off his foot. The other way comes Isaiah Banks. Quarterback to the head for Micah Pollard. Pollard in alone. Pollard spin move and a stoppage in play. And it'll be a foul called on McCarthy Fick.
That was a nice defensive play by Pollard. Stripped him on the drive and got the open lane, and then a foul.
So it'll be Central Washington basketball at the baseline. 7:24 left to go in this second half. Danny Bach alongside Daniel Caldera from Nicholson Pavilion in Ellensburg, Washington. And so far, what we're seeing, Central Washington starting to pull away, and it seems as if some of the leading scorers are starting to make their presence felt. But one of the big highlights, I would say, in terms, more importantly, on the defensive side of the ball, is Micah Pollard here, Daniel.
Yeah, Micah Pollard definitely got a couple steals, getting into passing lanes. In the first half, he was poking the balls out. He didn't really register a steal, but that was still some amazing effort from Pollard. However, this half, that's starting to show up in the stat sheet. He's still been poking balls away, but this time he's gotten them and got not on the fast break. Got a layup, and now here he's going to the free throw line.
So a lot of promise to like from Central Washington University. In terms of areas for optimism for PLU, you've got to like what you see from Jordan Thomas especially, as well as Tyler Ashmore for the Lutes.
Yep, Jordan Thomas, definitely the Lutes bright spot right here. Leading scorer with 10. He's been very efficient, 5 of 8 shooting, rebounding. He's got a few assists. It's just a great sight to see for Jordan Thomas.
So it will be Central Washington with possession at the baseline on the far side as Central Washington moving from left to right across your radio dial as Central Washington now back in play. Here's Amari Stafford on the edge of the perimeter for Pollard to the inside for Poquette. Over to the far side, Shaden Knight a 3 off the front side of the rim and now rebounded by Poquette. Poquette puts one up. Another chance. That one goes off the rim as well, and it'll be PLU with possession. Long stretch pass broken up by Pollard, and back the other way comes Central Washington. Here comes Amari Stafford, leaving it for Poquette. He couldn't control his shot. Another chance by Stafford. That one broken up. Rebounded by Thomas of PLU, and it will be the Lutes that will escape unscathed as no harm, no foul defensively for PLU. On the near side in the game is Brandon Rydell. He'll send one to the near side for Ashmore. Back to Rydell on the inside. Leaving it for Seth Hall. Hall on Knight. Kicked out. Far side. Lobbed in ahead. Brandon Rydell. Rydell putting a shot away. Blocked by Poquette. And that will lead into a stoppage of play here. And with that, we will have this stoppage in play. And we will have shooting at the line Brandon Rydell for PLU.
Here he is in the first half. He got a couple of really nice post moves. He was the one down low. Felt very controlled. In the first half, he was one of the Lutes who felt like he had control of the pace. And here he is at the line now.
At the line, Rydell with the first shot. He puts it in. 69-52, Central Washington out in front.
Yep, the Wildcats really starting to pull away. They saw them coming close, and they said, "Nuh-uh, we're not letting them get close." And they just stepped it up on the defensive end, and here they are.
For PLU, I love the fight that they showed, especially coming out in that second half to a strong performance to bring this game within 4. On the near side, Central Washington with possession 69-53. Here is a tip-in that is missed from Poquette, and PLU will have possession. Over on the far side, Jordan Thomas. Thomas quarterbacks one to the near side for Hall. Finding the open McCarthy. Fick off of the rim and out, but rebounded by Thomas. Jordan Thomas lays it in, and it's PLU bringing this, making it a little bit more interesting. A 14-point game with 6 minutes to go.
That was a nice shot by Jordan Thomas. Put the big man right up on him, wasn't afraid, and put it up and in.
Here is Pollard. Pollard for Stafford, long-range 3, and that is blatantly missed. And here comes Pacific Lutheran the other direction. Here is Thomas. Thomas for the Mountain Range. Kicks out for McCarthy. Fick to the inside. Now for the play to be made by Brandon Rydell. Working on Poquette. Near side McCarthy. Fick a 3 off the far side edge of the rim and out. With 5:30 left to go in regulation. Up the floor comes Micah Pollard for Central Washington. Works to the inside. Kicked out far side for Isaiah Banks. Banks drives in and fakes the shot. He's blocked in the play by Rydell. Kick to the outside for Pollard. Micah Pollard, long range 3. Off the back end of the rim and out. Rebounded by Pacific Lutheran.
That could have been a better shot there. There were still 12 seconds on the shot clock. Got to settle down a little there.
Here is Ashmore. Ashmore on the near side elbow shoots a jumper and an air ball that will be last touch off of the Lutz of PLU. Central Washington with possession, 4:59 left to go in the game.
That wasn't the worst shot. He was kind of open, but he just couldn't get it to fall. He just needs to connect on those, but you will take that shot. You're not going to not like that shot. It was an open one, and he just couldn't connect that time.
And new substitutions into the game for Central Washington. Marcus Gilson is back on the floor for Central Washington University. And the one level of concern for PLU, Jordan Thomas with 4 fouls in the game. So foul trouble could be a problem for PLU in the form of Thomas. Here's Gilson. He'll drive into the near side elbow. Far side now driving in. Isaiah Banks kicked out for Poquette. Matt Poquette, he'll slow down the pace, leaving one for Micah Pollard. Pollard. And an offensive foul that'll be called as Pollard ran into Tyler Ashmore.
Yep, you got to be a little more controlled of yourself right there. Shoving up the elbow, that's going to get the offensive foul 9 times out of 10. Just a little more control, and he's good.
And with that, looking at the case of Central Washington in terms of foul trouble, not a factor thus far. The only level of concern so far on the floor, Jordan Thomas with 4 fouls. On the far side, it will be taken up by Seth Hall, who will shoot a 3 from the point. Off the front edge of the rim and out, and it'll be Central Washington who will bring it up the floor. In the form of Gilson, tapped on ahead for Thompson, a jumper. Thompson puts it in, as it's David Thompson who makes it a 71-55 game.
That's a nice little jumper from the elbow. Lulled the defender to sleep, then pulled up.
Here comes PLU. Thomas, far side for Nolan. Nolan, he stops up. He'll retreat to the point. He'll hand off for Hall. Hall again. He'll shoot a 3 and off the front edge of the rim and out. Here comes David Thompson for Central Washington. Step back, 2-pointer off the edge of the rim. Rebounded by Poquette. He lays it in. Central Washington, a 73-55 lead.
There's an offensive rebound we were seeing in the first half, but this time in the form of Poquette, cleaning up that mess and putting it up and in.
Nolan, far side for the play. That's turned over by Thomas. And with the defensive efforts of Pollard out of play, PLU will retain possession. And that is one of the areas that head coach Brandon Rinta has got to like out of Micah Pollard. He is an aggressive defender. And he's always willing to go in and try and fetch for a steal there, especially and that's evidence in that play right there here, Daniel.
Definitely. You know he can get it done on the offensive end. You know he can score 20 points on any given night. But the defensive end is really where he's underrated. Getting in the passing lanes, getting in the arms, stripping the ball away. Even if he doesn't get the steal, the effort is contagious on the defensive end. And this is a really nice thing to see from Central.
Very positive sight to see. 3:31 left to go in this game. And taking a look at Central Washington and what they have next on the schedule, they'll be taking on a Walla Walla team on Monday that won their first game of the season last Thursday night. So, and that tip-off will be scheduled at 7 o'clock here on the Wildcat Sports Radio Network with the pregame show starting at 6:45. But there's a lot of promise for Central Washington in what you like to see for this team.
Definitely. You like to see this effort that they're putting on today in the defensive end, and hopefully that can carry on to the next game against Walla Walla, and the game after that, and the game after that. Sometimes it's just one game that puts the tempo up for the entire season, and this could very well be that one.
A 73-55 lead for Central Washington University over Pacific Lutheran. Here is Jordan Thomas for the Lutz. He'll hand off for Tyler Ashmore with it on the far side. He'll leave it for the play to be made by Nolan. Sam Nolan hands off for Seth Hall. Hall leaving it back to a turnover off of the hands of Ashmore. Pollard up ahead for Smith. Xavier Smith on the near side. He'll hesitate. Finding Thompson open on the far wing. Now kicked into the corner. Now for Gilson. Gilson hands off for Thompson. David Thompson working his way in. Finding Poquette. Poquette puts one up and in. And Central Washington, with their largest lead of the game, they lead by 20.
That was another nice play, all made possible because of that defensive presence from Pollard. Another steal for him.
This on the far side is Thomas. Thomas finding the open Ashford for now. Ashmore, now here is Hall. Hall scores on the play. The layup is good. 75-57, a palindrome score. Central Washington up with 2:30 left to go in the game.
That was a nice shot from Hall. It's good to see him get going.
Thompson finding Gilson on the far side. Working to the mid-post, finding Xavier Smith open, shoots the three, and scores the three. And it's a 78-57 lead for Central Washington University.
Yep, there's Xavier Smith from downtown. He can shoot from all three levels, and I think he's done one from a layup, free throws, and threes this game.
Thomas off his foot, and last touch off of Central Washington, and PLU will have possession with 2:05 left to go, trailing by 21.
Yep, that was some nice on-ball defense from Pollard right there. Again, he's been doing it all on the defensive end. Staying on his man, causing dribble to go off the foot, getting up in the jersey, not letting any room for the offensive player to operate.
Into the game will be C.Y. Hyder in the game for Central Washington University. His first action of the game. Here's Seth Hall. Last touch off of Hyder, and it will be PLU will have possession underneath the basket.
Yep, well, I'm really looking forward to see what C.Y. Hyder can do. Freshman, and it'll be fun to see his impact.
Great to see the freshman for Central Washington starting to see action. Here's Hall, long-range three, and that one bricks off of the rim and out. 1:52 left to go in the game. Up the floor comes Xavier Smith for Central Washington. He'll drive in, hesitate, kick out for Mitch Brizzy. Now for the inside for the driving in Hyder. Hyder, contested jumper off the back end of the rim and out. Here comes PLU the other way. To the near side for Hall. Hall finding Williams to the far side for Nolan. Nolan back for the play to be made by Brett Williams. Williams a three. It's good. Brett Williams from downtown, as it's PLU adding to their totals, as now the score is 78-60 in favor of Central Washington. And on that note, for Pacific Lutheran University, a lot in terms to take away from this game, as now it will be PLU their last game until December 21st. They'll be playing the University of California of Santa Cruz, so it's going to be a little bit of time before PLU will be back on the floor again, so maybe a lot of time to regroup after this game, as PLU, unless something unforeseeable happens in the last 83 seconds of regulation, PLU is on their way for their third loss of the season, but they are still undefeated in conference play. And if you're head coach Chad Murray, you've got to like what you see, especially from that early going for PLU.
Yep, definitely. The one thing that I think the head coach is going to really likes about the effort today, even though they're down by 18 right now, the effort coming out of halftime. That just shows the spirit of the players. They're not going to get down on themselves when they're down big. And it's just really great to see the spirit in these players right now and not wanting to back down.
And with that, as we are in a timeout break, last 83 seconds to go, as Central Washington, a strong performance, and they made the plays they needed when they mattered the most.
Yep, definitely. All on the defensive end. It all starts on defense. Everything, taking away possessions from PLU and going to offense is what they do.
And the bench is out for Central Washington, as it's David Lindgren on the play with it for Central Washington. Cycled for Rose, Kyson Rose to the outside for a long-range three that is missed on the part from Hyder. Loose ball, scramble for it. Last touch off of PLU, and it'll be the Wildcats who will have possession underneath the basket.
It could have been a better shot there by Rose. He kind of forced that one up. But again, 78-60, it doesn't matter too much.
Lindgren to inbound for Central Washington University. Lobbed on ahead for Colby Jeanette. Jeanette, the only starter out on the floor right now. Lindgren driving and kicked out to the near corner. Here comes a shooting shot that was missed by Jeanette. Rebounded by Jeanette. He scores.
That was awesome by Jeanette. Missed the shot, but follows his own shot. Gets the offensive rebound and puts it back in.
The freshman makes it a 20-point game. 50 seconds left to go in regulation. This is Tyler Ashmore with it for PLU. Lob to the inside and driving in. Down low stretch pass that's broken up, kept in by Nolan, and that will lead to a stoppage in play here. And that will be a foul that'll be called on the play against Central Washington University, as Pacific Lutheran will have possession now.
Yep. it's great to see Central's second unit still putting in the work on the defense. They're not giving up. They're not just calling this garbage time. They're still putting in the works.
Here's Nolan. Nolan cycled to the far side for Thomas. Thomas works his way in. He lost the ball. Rose stretch pass finding David Lindgren in alone. He slams it. What a play from David Lindgren.
He's got vertical. He went up there. Jeez.
What a play as Lindgren standing at 6 foot 1 inches tall. He comes in for the slam. That might be the play of the night. Shot clock turned off. Thomas a layup. That will lead to a foul on the play. And that will send Thomas to the line.
Man, I can't get over that dunk. He looked like he was floating up there. Only 6'1", seeing him fly up there to get that dunk, that's amazing.
And the bench for Central Washington, they are ecstatic for Lindgren as he scores his first points of the game, and they come on a dunk. Thomas at the line. This free throw doesn't get the friendly roll. 82-60 is the score as the Lutes are in the bonus with 15.8 seconds left to go in regulation. Here is the second free throw attempt. That one doesn't go from Thomas, and PLU in no urge to run out the clock, and it'll be David Lindgren who will dribble away the final seconds of the game. A dominant performance throughout by Central Washington as the Wildcats beat the Pacific Lutheran Lutes by the final score of 82-60. And with that, we will take a quick break right here, and we'll be right back with the post-game show here on the Wildcat Sports Radio Network.
Please join 88 Wunderberg in thanking our proud sponsor, Central Park Apartments. Located at the end of East Helena Avenue, Central Park Apartments offer 1 to 4 bedroom apartment homes with amenities including a swimming pool, fitness center, and multi-purpose court. All rooms are open concept with storage space, heating, and air conditioning, as well as in-unit washer and dryers. Tours can be scheduled through their website, and more information about pricing and availability can be found by calling 509-925-1247.
Attorneys can help with many things. Traffic citations, criminal accusations, and arrests. 88 The Berg would like to thank its proud sponsor, attorney Mark Chmielewski. Mark's office is located on Pine Street in downtown Ellensburg, walking distance from the CWU campus and the courthouse. With over 30 years' experience as a state deputy prosecuting attorney, municipal court judge, city prosecuting attorney, judge pro tem, and defense attorney, Mark can be reached at
The
mac1law.com or by calling
Open Tuesday through
933-1LAW.
Saturday, the Barber Shop specializes in men's haircuts, classic fades, tapers, and beard trimming. Walk-ins are welcome, and appointments can be booked through their app. The Barber Shop is located at 1011 North Alder Street behind Weinigers in the same building as Linder Chiropractic. More information about haircuts and pricing can be found by searching The Barber Shop on Facebook.
88 The Berg would like to thank our proud sponsor, Central Transit. Operating 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., Central Transit is Ellensburg's public transit service. Stops include Fred Meyer, Safeway, The Verge, and Brook Lane Village. All buses have bike racks and are ADA accessible. For bus routes, stops, and pickup times, the Transit app is available for download. More information can be found on their website at centraltransit.org.
88 The Berg would like to thank our proud sponsor, Northwest Luxury Spas.
Now open in Ellensburg off Main Street next to Ellensburg Power Sports, they offer supplies, scheduled services, and digital water testing. Northwest Luxury Spas is also a licensed Clearwater spa dealer.
More information on spas, services, and supplies can be found on their website at nwluxuryspas.com or by calling 509-925-1142.
88 The Berg would like to thank our proud sponsor, Yakima Federal Savings and Loan. With 10 locations in Central Washington, including Ellensburg, Yakima, and the Tri-Cities, Yakima Federal offers a variety of services, including free Clear Choice student checking accounts, savings accounts, home loans, and more. More information can be found on their website at yakimafed.com or by calling 509-925-5338. Member FDIC, Equal equal housing lender.
Welcome to the Wildcat Sports Radio Network postgame show, brought to you by CWU Athletics and the Wildcat Sports Radio Network.
Back here live at Dean Nicholson Pavilion in Ellensburg, Washington. Danny Bach alongside Daniel Caldera on the heels of a resounding win by the Central Washington Wildcats as they beat the Pacific Lutheran Lutes 82-60 in what was a dominant performance throughout, and a great performance by Central Washington, especially as the game wore on.
Definitely. You saw at the start of the second half, they did look like they were slowing down a little. Coach got them all good. The lead was down to 6, but as you can see, the lead is now 22. So great job by Coach getting his players back in the mindset of, hey, this game isn't over yet. We need to fight back. We can't slack off. And it's great to see this big win by the Wildcats.
And that was the showing for Brandon Renta's team. When we take a look at Chad Murray's team in Pacific Lutheran University, as it seemed as if in terms of PLU, they had their work cut out for them, especially playing in a conference that tends to have a little bit higher level of competition, you might say. So knowing this, in PLU, they really put up a good fight here.
They really did. The end score might not show it, but their fight after coming out of the half was really something amazing to watch. Like, everything you saw was going in. The open shots were going in. There were some amazing drives. Just the fight in the players to not give up. That's just always what you love to see from a team. Not knowing that you're not going to back down, even when the lead is big, because no lead at halftime is too big to come back from.
And PLU showed that. They brought the game within 4, and then next thing you know, Central Washington, they went on a huge run, and then they extended their lead and held on to victory. So looking at PLU and the promise that they showed, looking at some of the stars for PLU, a little bit of a surprise here, Daniel, in Jordan Thomas.
For sure. 12 points total, the leading scorer for the Lutes this game. Shot it well, 6 of 9 from the field, 66%. 5 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds. You love to see that from your guard. 3 assists, 1 steal. Just a great all-around game for him.
And then also in terms of PLU, as it was the Lutes with scoring evenly distributed throughout, as there was a disparity between 5 players between 7 and 12 points. So the scoring really well balanced for the Lutes here at PLU.
Yeah, you really like to see that. It shows that there's not one player that's doing all the work. So if that one player does happen to have a bad day, you know that someone else can step up. It's not just a one-player team. Seth Hall